Well, moving on to this now, Matrics at St Andrew's School for Girls and St Mary's in Johannesburg are pleased with their results despite facing tough academic year amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The Independent Examinations Board recorded a 98.07% matric pass rate for 2020, a slight drop compared to the previous year's 98.82%. Joining me now are matriculants Georgia Wensley and Kanyisile Mpinga from St Andrew's School for Girls and Tlo Duba from St Mary's. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. Perhaps let's start with you, Georgia, seeing that you achieved 9 distinctions. So how are you feeling after such a great feat?
I'm feeling very thrilled. I feel like a big weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I think all the matrics can say the same, because I think especially having this hanging over our heads for an extra 2 months, it was tough having to kind of mentally push through and wait and not let your thoughts run wild.
Now, Georgia, what interested me about your subjects that you were taking was Mandarin and isiZulu, of which you achieved those distinctions. Tell us a little bit about why the choice of language.
I took Afrikaans and French, not isiZulu and Mandarin.
Oh, okay. And so how was Afrikaans and English?
They were good. I also took French because I wanted the challenge of taking, another language and a foreign language. So I think it was nice to kind of push myself in that regard, since I think I do often prefer the more almost quote unquote left side of the brain, more math sciences. So it was good to, I think, have that additional challenge to kind of push my boundaries and see how I can do.
Now, Tlo, let's bring you into this conversation. You from St. Mary's also achieved 7 distinctions. Tell us how you're feeling tonight.
I'm definitely very, very excited, not only for myself, but I'm really excited for my grade and my school as a whole, after the whole year that we had with the pandemic and a lot of the uncertainties that we had this year. I'm definitely feeling hugely excited for what's to come and to see everyone else who I've grown up with go out into the world. So I'm definitely, excitement is the word to describe it.
Fantastic. Now, Kanyisile, one of the subjects that you received a distinction in is accounting, and you only took it from grade 11. Tell us how that came about and how you managed to achieve a distinction in that subject.
Well, I think it's all just by hard work and God's grace. So how it happened was when I changed schools, because I only came to St. Andrews in grade 11. So that was 2019. And unfortunately, St. Andrews did not offer business studies. So I had to pick up something else. And, I just thought, let me just do accounting because, I wanted to do it initially, but I couldn't. And also I feel like it was the closest thing to business studies. So, I came to St. Andrews, and I think lucky for me, there was a great support system. I had the best accounting teacher, Mr. Bishop, and he just made sure that I stayed on par with the rest of the grade, and that I caught up all my work for grade 10. So it was just, a lot of hard work, a lot of long nights, early mornings. So I think it was just the support system that I had and just the extra work, just going the extra mile to make sure that I not only caught up, but also just outdid myself in the subject. So I was just very excited about that.
Now, you've managed to catch up, being a new student at a new school. And then the very next year, we're all thrown into a pandemic. How did you cope with that, Kanyisila? It must have been very tough for you.
I'll admit that, with matric, I did start having doubts in my academic ability because I really struggled with the online learning. So it was just all about remaining steadfast, and just being determined. And even though I lost steam like halfway through the year, I knew that when it came to prelims and finals, I had to make it count, because my
All right, we'll come back to Kanyisile, but Georgia, perhaps let me bring you in here. 9 distinctions. I think that's all the subjects that you were doing in grade 12. What are your plans for 2021?
I plan on studying actuarial science. I'm still undecided with universities. I think the next few weeks will be interesting to see what comes in, but I'm excited for the future and to get going with my degree.
And why that particular degree?
I think I've always had quite a strong affiliation for mathematics and specifically statistics, which was my AP Maths module. I've always been quite good at that. So it's just, I have quite a passion for stats, and that's quite a big component within actuarial science. I also have a few family members who are actuaries, so their guidance is also really nice just to have an insight into that side of like the corporate world.
Now, so what are your plans for 2021 with your 7 distinctions, I might add?
I plan on studying computer science. Yeah, I plan to move to Cape Town and study computer science there. Yeah, I just always loved computers and coding. And I did initially choose between, or had to decide between computer science and actuarial science, but I ended up choosing computer science.
Now, you ladies are one of very few fortunate ones during Matric that you didn't really have problems per se as it related to online learning. But you mentioned, though, that COVID-19 really made things a little bit difficult. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, so everything when, the pandemic hit, we basically had to organize ourselves in 2 days when Ramaphosa announced that schools would close. And definitely that was very abrupt. So we had to adjust very, very quickly. So that I think was quite a difficult part of the year, was having to adjust to learning online and having it be a learning curve for both the students and the teachers. But ultimately, I do think that my school was able to handle the pandemic very, very well. We were able to come back to school. Thankfully, we've had no outbreaks in the school. So yeah, definitely just adjusting to learning online and just ironing out the sort of creases of online school was a difficult feat, but we did manage to push through it.
Ladies, as we wrap up our interview, Kanyisile, maybe let me come back to you and hopefully you can hear me this time, but just perhaps a little bit of advice to, to matriculants of 2021 or the class of 2021 in terms of, how they can also stay focused and achieve the marks that they envision. All right, we seem to have lost Kanyisile again, but Georgia, perhaps let me ask you that question as our final question. What are some of the things that helped you and perhaps could help the class of 2021 going forward, seeing that we are still technically in a pandemic?
Yeah, I think just, keep going, make sure you look after both your mental, physical and emotional well-being, like check in with yourself, make sure you have a good support system around you, be it family, friends, your school, and just know, you will get through it. And I'm sure, the Matrics of 2020 would be more than happy if they ever need advice or anything like that. And also, I think take it as a learning opportunity. I think our year, in a sense, has also been very lucky that this has kind of given us an insight into how you have to work within university in terms of it being on your own terms and you're responsible for your own education, basically. So I think it actually, in the long run, I think it'll be very beneficial going forward.
And Georgia and Joe, I believe a lot of people or matriculants are out celebrating today, rightfully so, responsibly so, I hope. What are your plans for tonight, ladies?
For me, I have family over. They came to celebrate and we had a fantastic braai. And I'm really, really grateful for all my family members. They've been a huge support system and I have my extended family here. So yeah, I've just been celebrating with them responsibly and everything like that. And yeah, those have been my plans for tonight.
Fantastic. And yourself, Georgia?
Mine's very much the same. I'm with family and a friend of mine's family, and I think I'll probably see other people one-on-one in the coming days. And then I plan on sleeping in tonight after 3:30 bedtime this morning after results.
Okay, Kanyisile, I can see you've joined us very quickly from your end. What are your plans for this evening? I know a lot of your classmates are out having fun, some of them celebrating with family. All right, we've lost Kanyisile again, but it wasn't the case when she was studying for her exams, because it was all systems go on that front. But thank you so much, ladies, and good luck to you and congratulations to you and your respective schools. That was Georgia from St. Andrews, Kanyisile from St. Andrews with 7 distinctions, Georgia with 9, as well as Joe with 7 distinctions from St. Mary's.